Hey everybody, welcome to socaldramtram. This is your boy Caesar.
And I'm Matt, and you're probably wondering why we're wearing tank tops. That's because it's hot as hell. It's like 90 degrees out here in SoCal. And you know what? This whiskey reminds us of a bonfire. But before we get into that review, we just want to say, hey, if you're new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out. If you're a returning viewer, or if you're new, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the bell for notifications. That way you know whenever we drop a new video. Caesar, what do we got on the bar today?
Today, we got something that isn't whack, but it's for sure black.
Black. So, Ardbeg Blaaack. That's right, Ardbeg Blaaack. This is the 20th anniversary committee release. It's presented at 46% ABV, aged in Pinot Noir casks.
Ooh, Pinot Noir.
What? No, Pinot Noir. It's a red wine. I love Pinot Noir. But nonetheless, like I said, this guy's presented at 46% ABV, and this one was a committee release. So on June 1st, it's what everybody in the whiskey community likes to know as Ardbeg Day. So this guy was not the first release of Black, though. I hope that sticks this whole video. But it was the second release. There's a different version of Black, and it's a little bit higher ABV, if I remember correctly, but same aging and maturation, if I'm not mistaken. There is no age on this bottle. It doesn't say anything about color being added or anything like that, but I'll tell you, I'm excited about this one. I've hit it a few times. I really enjoy it. We've done a couple Ardbegs. We've actually done the Ugadale, which you can check out right here. It was our Christmas episode from last year. And if I'm not mistaken, we've also done the Beeest, which is right up here. You can also check that as well. So I'm excited to get into this Ardbeg. What are you expecting right off the bat?
I mean, I'm expecting the smoky smokerson that Ardbeg loves to smoke on.
Yeah, smoky McSmokerson. That's kind of what Ardbeg likes to do. But I'll tell you, things like the Ugadale and the Beeest. The Beeest was much more punchy with the smoke. But the Ugadale is just this nice, sweet, subtle smoke. I think that's why you ended up bringing it over for the Christmas episode. This one, I'm expecting a little bit different because it is finished in that Pinot Noir cask, or aged in the Pinot Noir cask. Again, somebody will correct me in the comments. That's all right. We've had a few drinks today. And again, it's hot, hence the tank tops.
Yeah, it's hot. I even had to put, the microphone on my beard, if you guys haven't noticed by now. But yeah, it's a hot one for sure.
No lie, during one of the other reviews that we shot today, I looked over and I realized it was in your beard, and it took me like all of my concentration to not break on camera. So hopefully that didn't happen. But before we get into this whiskey, quick little shout out to our coins. I am using the Scotch for Dummies. This is their third fill coin. I'm using the Dr. Scotch coin, Andrew, because hey, it's a Scotch, but also it's a smoky smoke, so it's in his wheelhouse. So shout out to you, Andrew, and the boys. Who are you using today?
For my Costa coin, I use my Aquavite trash something. Oh, recycle reviews. The recycled.
I was like, how dare you?
Recycled reviews. And then for my topper coin, I'm using, of course, the one and only Old Soul Whiskey Soldier.
Okay, so on the nose on this guy, it is smoky smoke.
Woo, folks, have you guys ever wondered what a bowl of pine cones on fire smells like? Well, I mean, that's it right there, folks. That is definitely
it's definitely woodsy fire, bonfire. It's funny. It reminds me of a long time ago, right?
Long.
So me and a couple buddies from grade school, we went out. I don't know, it's part of a youth group or just a get together. I can't remember exactly, but he knew this guy who was in charge of the gathering, and he had pallets pallets upon pallets upon pallets. He must have had at least 100 pallets. And he built these structures that were just like towers, essentially. Doused them in like gasoline and then literally lit a match and threw it at it.
Dang.
And we had flames probably 75 feet high.
Damn, that's cool.
Absolutely nuts.
That
We were out in the
sounds
middle of Victorville. Don't try this at home. Like, this was not like your neighborhood bonfire. This was like out in the middle of nowhere. We could, catch things on fire.
That's dope.
And it doesn't necessarily smell like that because there is a fruity note to this, but it's definitely smoky smoke. Like, if you are not into smoky scotches, maybe don't seek this one out right off the bat.
Or pour it and let it have some time because it definitely settles a little bit.
It does. And I mean, we kind of, off camera, we smelled this from the neck and we're like, oh man, this is going to be smoking. It's so concentrated coming out of the bottle. Yep. But when you get it in a glass, it's significantly sweeter. And again, like Caesar was saying, when you let it sit and some air gets to it, it's definitely going to be a lot sweeter. I mean, now that it's been sitting for a few minutes, I'm getting a little bit more of those red fruits coming out from the Pinot Noir cask. Now, you've had a sip. What are you thinking so far?
Interesting. I mean, with Ardbeg, of course, the first note you get is smoke, of course. But it's subtle smoke. It's subtle smoke. It's to be honest, it's even more subtle than the Ugadale that I have. So it's even softer than that, but it's still the first thing to punch you in the face. So it's like you're not gonna, if you don't like smoke, it's definitely not gonna be your thing. But even I'm not a big smoker guy, but I'm a big smoker, but I'm not a big smoky guy. And even at that, like this is actually good. I think I like this better than the Wee Beastie actually.
Yeah,
the first time around I had them side by side, and I like the Wee Beastie way better. But this, I don't know if it's more time or I don't know where the bottle's at because the bottle's all black.
It's not very far. I would say it's maybe at or right below the shoulder.
But even at that, it's still better than the Wee Beast for sure.
I'll say this for it. It's got a long finish, right? So on the palate, I do get that smoke for sure. A little bit of tar, a little bit of medicinal in there for sure. A little bit of that salty brine sea spray that I've talked about in the past. But I do also get a little bit of that Pinot Noir influence. I get a little bit of those red fruits.
That's what I think. That's what I think distinctly.
It's a nice compliment. Yep. Like, it's not necessarily something that I would reach for all the time. But it's if I'm in a mood, right? Like, people talk about being mood drinkers, and there's a specific thing that I'm after. This might be it in terms of just, like, looking for something a little bit more off the walls that's going to be offering a little bit more engagement. And the one thing that I'll say, I forget what episode it was, but they talk about the Kentucky hug with, bourbon. This is a Scotland snug, as I coined it. I am feeling this down my throat, into my chest. It's definitely, at 46%, I'm shocked because it stays with you. I haven't had a sip intentionally for a little bit, and it's really decent. What are you thinking?
No. So, what I'm thinking about right now that tastes exactly like, I don't know what that fruit is called, but there's this it almost looks like an apple, and you crack it open, and there's a bunch of little red BBs in there, and you chew them on them, and you spit it. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Pomegranate. This is like a smoky pomegranate, which actually, now that I think about it, sounds pretty good if you think about it. So smoky pomegranate is pretty good.
I could do that for you. I can put that on a grill and smoke it.
Yeah,
I can do that.
No, this is, folks, actually, that's what I'm going to finish with right there. As far as flavor goes, it's a smoky pomegranate. And that's where all my money's on right there. Smoky pomegranate.
So this is interesting, right? Have you put water on it yet?
I have not.
So I just dropped 3 drops of water. It's 46%, so I'm assuming it can take it. I am not impressed is the wrong word. I think taken aback is the right phrase. At how much the smoke gets neutered by 3 drops of water. I'm interested to see what happens after it kind of mellows out. But it is not nearly as punchy with the smoke after just sitting with some water in it for a minute. Now, I haven't had it on the palate yet. I'm just talking about the nose.
So interesting. Okay, I was going to say, I was like, the smoke is still there. But, like you said before, it almost tastes like a little bit more well-rounded, like where you saw the edge off of something and it's a little bit more well-rounded. Like, it's not just sharp edges where it's like, it's like, oh, okay, it worked in well. Like it almost like it's aged a little bit. That's almost like
a little more mature.
Yeah, exactly. With the water, at least for me.
So with the water, I'm getting a little bit more of the fruity elements. Again, a little bit more of like the grapes from the Pinot Noir. I
Good
think I
stuff.
might prefer this with the water.
That's dude. I definitely prefer
we've
this
kind of been
with
on
the
a
water.
run of stuff that we prefer with water, which is kind of shocking.
Yeah, because usually the water, especially for something smoky, you'd expect the pepper notes to come out, like a little bit like of the sharpness, like it's already but now with the water but no, you add the water and it kind of like sizzled it down a little bit more well rounded off, and then you got some smoky pomegranate. So I'm impressed, dude. Like the more I drink Ardbeg, the more I really like it. Like that's
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm joining the cult of Ardbeg or anything yet, but it's definitely worthy of drinking. The one thing I'll say is this is interesting. This is the first time I've ever had this. I think it was Jason from the Mash and Drum. I forget what video it was on, but he had mentioned something about like the after finish. Like, you think it's about ready to go away, and then you get bam, just another little quick hit. And this kind of did that for me. Not necessarily in a good way with the water, but like as the flavors were just starting to go away, I got this little puff of just ash smoke. Wasn't like entirely unpleasant, but it's kind of like after you've put out a cigar and like you have that like remnants and it's like still a little bit smoldery and stuff like that. So you just have that little bit of essence of it. That's kind of like the after finish I got. It was interesting. I've never actually had that in a whiskey. I've always been kind of like on the lookout for it because I was like, is that even a thing? Turns out it is. But yeah, I'll say with the water, I really like this. I mean, 46%. It's an Ardbeg, which means it's from Islay. It is a
what
Scotch.
price point is this at?
I was actually going to say. So this was, I think, my wife got it for me as a gift, and I want to say it was $120. Committee release. So it's up there, but also it's a specialty release.
That makes sense.
I've seen this as high as $300.
Oh.
So I wouldn't pay $300 for this. Make no mistake. Maybe if you saw like the original release of the Blaaack. Again, I don't know.
And it wasn't real
ABV
whack.
was. Exactly. I'm kind of torn on this one.
So I do like this I do like this better than the Ugadale, and I like the Ugadale. So I mean,
we gotta do a shootout. You still have the Ugadale?
I do.
We should bring it over one day.
I mean, to be honest, the finish is probably gone because it's so little left, and it's been
Okay.
to be honest.
Darn, we have to buy another bottle of Ugadale.
I don't touch it until Christmas season comes around. So I've had it since last Christmas season. I haven't touched it until this Christmas season comes around. So that's what I like to save it for.
Because now I think we have 3 Ardbeg bottles.
Yeah.
Granted, that's not like the entirety of the Ardbeg lineup by any means, and we don't even have the 10. But doing the 3 side by side would be interesting. You know
I
what
do
mean?
want to try the Ardbeg Groovy, I think it's called. That's all.
Good luck finding it.
Oh yeah, I know. I was like,
That's like me going, I want the Lord of the Isles. Like, yeah, of course you do, but good luck.
Hey, so for any of those of you at home, I don't know why that was so hard to say. Probably because we're 5 whiskeys
I was going
down
to say, because
today.
we're 4 reviews and 8 whiskeys in.
If any of you at home have that Groovy by Ardbeg, I mean, I'd be willing to swap some samples with you because that Groovy by Ardbeg, since I saw it, it's like something I've been wanting to try.
Although if you have Groovy, you're probably looking at our board going, I have all that stuff. What do you got for me, kid?
Get you some good bourbon.
Right?
But yeah, no, so if you have that Groovy, please, I'm trying to get groovy myself, so just let me know what's good.
So the one Ardbeg that I always want or find myself looking at. So I picked this up from High Time, or I should say my wife picked it up from High Time Wine Cellars. So shout out to High Time. You guys are always great. And they do have one in the glass case there. And it's not all that expensive given what it is. And every time I'm like, should I buy it? No, not the Groovy. It's the Ardbeg 20-something. And I think it's the 22-year-old. It's got an interesting story behind it and whatnot. And I won't go into that here because that's not the review we're doing. And we don't even have that bottle. So what's the point? But that's the one I always look at because I'm just like, where you're at with the Groovy, that's where I'm at with the 20-something. Because I'm just like, that, everything I've ever read or watched, it just sounds amazing. But back to the Blaaack. It's not very whack, as he would say, and I'm going to leave the rhymes to him. $120, 46%. It's got an interesting flavor profile.
What are you going to rate it?
I'm thinking. It's what is that movie? Don't rush me. I'm gonna give it a 3. I think this is, if you don't like smoke, stay away, stay clear. If you like Ardbeg, I think you have to try it. I think it's part of that, like, you're an Ardbeg fan, you're gonna get yourself a bottle or at least give it a shot. I really enjoy it. Like, I'm excited to see, because like I said, it's probably only about here. I'm excited to see as air starts to hit this and see what it does over time. And maybe it's an interesting one that we re-review during the holidays. Maybe we do a shootout. Maybe we pick up a bottle or two of Ardbeg and see what happens. That'll just be a smoky smoke month. But like I said, 3 from me, because again, it does offer some interesting flavors that I haven't got in a whiskey. And that after finish is something that I haven't received yet in a whiskey. And so I really like that. I think it was very interesting. Now, it's up for debate on if I liked what that presented, but the fact that it did it was kind of cool. So it's a 3 from me. Where are you going?
So for me, this Ardbeg Blaaack surely wasn't whack.
That was my rhyme.
Ardbeg Blaaack surely wasn't whack. If I was a fiend of smoky whiskey, this would be my crack. And I am just spitting facts. So
that actually wasn't bad.
Especially for like free rhyming. So that it's a 3 for me, and it's a 3 from him for sure. Yeah, it's a solid 3.
Yeah, it's nothing that's gonna like set the world on fire, but I think that it's definitely worth giving a shot. Like, if you can find a bottle and you can find it between 100 to 120 bucks, maybe even 150 if you're an Ardbeg fan, I think you need to pull the trigger. I think it's something that's worth grabbing, because I don't think you're going to be disappointed. But again, if you don't like smoke, stay away from it, because again, it's all the smoke. It's all the smoke. You want the smoke show? This is the smoke show.
Exactly. You want the smoke? It has it here.
Exactly. Well, it's a 3 from me. It's a 3 from Caesar. That means it's 3s all around. Do us a favor. Hit us up in the comments. Have you had Ardbeg Blaaack? Have you had the committee release, or did you have the prior release? I'd be genuinely curious to see what your thoughts are between them. I know some other whiskey tubers have kind of blown this bottle up. So do us a favor. Let us know your thoughts on our review, or what you thought. No worries. But don't forget to follow us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at socaldramtram. We love interacting with you guys there. And that's going to do it for Ardbeg Blaaack and the socaldramtram. You got anything else you want to add today, Caesar?
Nah, what about you, Matt?
All aboard! We'll catch you next time. Hey, everybody. Hope you liked that video.
Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications.
And don't forget to subscribe.